This conference, Beyond Metaphysics question mark, has at least two aims. One is to talk about the late work of Whitehead, the work after processing reality, and to ask the question of importance and relevance. But secondly, then to bring together these non-translated areas of Whitehead research.
My hermeneutic thesis is that we can observe in Whitehead's later thought a more methodically self-conscious renewal of his speculative project. It can never be accomplished, this project can never be accomplished once and for all. It must be taken up anew, now and again.
Life is not a mere succession of rules. It implies the striving for an aim, for being, and beyond this, for well-being. Thus, so Whitehead, the characteristics of life are absolute self-enjoyment, creative activity, aim.
He says. I think if I'm correct, one of the most important concepts in process thought is almost absent from process and reality, and that is beauty, which is one of the central concepts for Adventures of Ideas. I've always been struck by the strength of this passage, that the teleology of the universe is directed at the production of beauty. My claim isn't that beauty it first appears in Adventures of Ideas. It doesn't. But I've been trying to think through taking what it looks like to take seriously Whitehead's claim, rather than taking it as hyperbolic or metaphorical. What Whitehead's work looks like if we take it seriously, and I think it's actually something to be embraced rather than to be qualified or explained away. So I adopt Frederick Farré's rather fortunate phrase of describing Whitehead's work as callogenic, beauty generating.
In a general way, one immediately notices that he explicitly focuses on civilization, society, history, all these things that are not specifically metaphysical, but that it is my thesis, my challenge to see how he treats the problem of a new kind of problem, a social problem or a historical problem, how he treats it in a metaphysical way.
It is already a process and reality that many readers stumble over the phrase that Whitehead has framed his cosmology with reliance on the positive value of the philosophical tradition. That is, referring to relevant predecessors from the general point of view of science on the one hand, and on the other hand with the more specific intention of developing his concept of an organic pluralistic universe by adopting, adapting, and reinterpreting the ideas of his reference authors.
Now the word fully sticks out of the sentence for me and brings some questions to my mind. What does it mean to say that a metaphysic is or isn't fully in view?
To embrace the unknown pushes us toward non-essentializing activity, and I think that this was touched upon quite a bit throughout many of the papers. From my perspective, the ethical impetus of Whitehead's work disrupts our tendency towards totalizing claims that essentializes living entities. The importance of Whitehead's work is that it furthers our awareness of the limitedness of our claims in seeking to provide an understanding of another's perspective. Novelty arises when we are confronted by difference, and creativity ensues out of this confrontation. Ethically, we should be in a constant mode of questioning comfortable associations of the other. And for as Foucault has made known, we are constantly being infiltrated by underlying power structures that dominate the ways in which we conceive and make sense of our world. In this sense, Whitehead's metaphysics of experience, whether it be systematic or poetic, should not be perceived in any absolute sense. Rather, it should be perceived as an infinite well from which we may gain a further understanding as to how we construct our reality and the realities of others' experience.